Okay, so we're factoring. If you look at the second part of your worksheet, it should say, see where it says factor and solve right here? This is what we're doing. But see the example they give you? It's easy than that. So I'm going to give you an example. Now, write this down though, because if they have it equaling 0, you're going to do this factor and solve, and all you do is put the roots as your answer. Okay? And here's an example of what you'll see. I've been taking lessons, Michael. Is it working?
Actually, it looked better than it did last time.
Thanks, bud.
No Khan Academy, but still good. Logan?
Okay, so this has to equals 0. The reason they have it equal 0 is because you're supposed to solve an equation after this. But Carnegie doesn't realize that we have Desmos calculator, okay? So what you're going to do is just type in this part into Desmos. Can somebody tell me what the roots or the x-intercepts are when you type that in?
So we've got it, guys. 2 and 5.
2 and 5.
Or 2 and 6.
2 and 6.
Positive 2 and positive 6?
Yeah, correct.
So literally your answers are the roots are 2 and remember, roots, x-intercepts, and zeros all mean the same thing. You have to just know those all mean the same thing.
Oh, okay.
Here's what they want you to do. Oh, well, I take that back. Okay, I'll show you, but don't write this down, okay? They want you to do this. They want you to find the roots and factor it. So that becomes, do not write this down, x minus 2, x minus 6. Would you guys agree with that? And they want you to set it equal to 0, okay? Then they want you to split these. They want you to do x minus 2 equals 0, x minus 6 equals 0, and solve. Add 2, you get x equals 2. Add 6, you get x equals 6. So your answers are 2 and 6. Do you see why I decided not to do that part? Because you don't really need to, okay? Now, hold on just a second, because it does get a little bit different, especially on your, sometimes it'll look like this.
Should be writing these down.
Yes. Does this equal 0? Okay, I can't do this problem until it equals 0. So what I need to do is move this 24 to the other side of the equal sign. Does that make sense to everybody? So this is going to be a lot of writing. I just want to show you what I mean. It has to equal 0. So I'm going to subtract 24 and put it over here. That leaves me with x squared minus 5x minus 24 equals 0. Does everybody see how I did that?
Oh.
Now, can somebody type that in for me and tell me the roots?
-3 and positive 8.
What?
-3 and positive 8.
Done. Does that make sense-ish?
Yeah.
Let me just double check and make sure there's nothing else on that one I need to show you. And then the next part's a little bit harder. Yep, all good there. So that's this part.
If it worked, so it's basically the same thing, we're just not putting it in the.
You're not putting it in factored form. Yeah. All you're doing, the problem is, the reason I wanted to put up here that it says factor and solve is those will be the instructions. They'll say factor and solve. And then if it's multiple choice, they'll just give you x equals 2, x equals 6. You don't have to do any solving. You just need to find the roots and put the answer. Okay? So that's like the part 2. All right, here's where things get a little crazy. All right. This is on, can I see your worksheet? Oh, so if you go to the back, part C, it says find the zeros. That is, again, you're just finding the x-intercepts. You're typing that in and giving the x-intercepts, even if they're decimals. We might not even do part C, so don't really worry about that, okay? Okay, this last part where it says the quadratic formula. This is a big one, so be ready. So the quadratic formula, this is the last thing we're learning before testing. You use this used when you can't factor. So I'll show you what I mean. What I mean by when you can't factor is like if your x-intercepts are like really long decimals, you would use quadratic formula. Here's the unfortunate part. This is not on your testing sheet, so you'll have to memorize it. And it's big. Hopefully we do it enough to where it won't be terrible. And remember, I'm going to like make you a little thing to, okay, you guys ready for this? Okay, you know how when it's in this form, right? Yeah, we have like 8. There's always a number here, a number here, and a number here. Okay. Here's the formula. Just take deep breaths, okay?
Oh, it's okay, guys.
I don't think it's on. I'll have to double check your formula sheet, but your state formula sheet, but I don't think it's on there. But it's all right. It'll be fine. Okay, so let me give you some examples of how we're going to use this. The nice thing is you guys just can type it in Desmos and yeah. Okay. What are the directions on that say? Here it is. Sorry, thank you. Huh? What? Ella, we're going through this again. I'm making this stuff up.
No.
I'm just showing you what part of each sheet we're doing. Okay, so let me do an example of this, how you would use this formula. Okay, what is happening?
You can take that.
Oh my God. Side eye.
Shh. Okay. I could never publish these videos, that's for sure. Okay. So, quadratic formula. Hold on, sorry. Let me find an example. Okay. Okay, negative 4x squared.
Did you write this down?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Can somebody type that in for me and say what the x-intercepts say?
Negative 2.053 and positive 12.853.
Oh,
What?
Negative 2.053 and 12.853.
Yeah.
Negative 5.5, negative 4.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, because you forgot the negative in front of the 4x squared.
Yeah. I was like, that doesn't.
on, bro.
Okay, so it's okay. So anyway, now here's the deal, guys. You could technically be just fine and put that because that is the answer. It's negative 5.5 and negative 4.5, okay? But there could be a time where they use this quadratic formula and they just have them, and I'll show you at the end. Anyway, I still want you to see it, okay? Just to have it. So don't stress out too much. Okay, can anybody tell me what the A is up there? Yeah. What's the B? Negative 40. And the C?
99.
Negative 99. So we're going to plug that into this formula. I'm going to rewrite it. Don't feel like you have to. I just want you to kind of see what I'm doing here.
Why does the plus have a line under it?
So that means plus minus.
That makes sense.
So pretty much, guys, so that pretty much means we're going to take this and add it, and we're going to take the exact same thing and subtract it. Okay, so here we go. This says negative B. So I have a negative, and then I have negative 40. Do you guys see that? Now, this says plus minus. What I'm going to do is just put plus, and then I'm going to do it again and put a minus sign, Ella. That's all plus minus means. Then I take the square root of b squared. So I'm going to do negative 40 squared. Please make sure you put it in parentheses. That's very important. Minus 4 times A times C. The nice thing is you can type this all in Desmos as long as you have parentheses and it'll give you something. Divided by 2 times negative 4. Then you copy and paste that and change the plus to a minus and it gives you the two answers. That's where the plus minus comes from. So let's try typing that in.
We have it in exactly like that.
And it should work. The only reason I tell you to practice typing it in is because it just might be something you want to make sure that you do to see if you get it, see if there's any errors that I forgot about.
Oh my goodness. This might take me a while.
Really shouldn't take that long. And then if you got, hey, if you want to do this, highlight this and make it a fraction. Oopsie.
How do you divide this?
All of it.
Highlight it.
You could just put parentheses around all of it.
Where's the fraction button?
The fraction button is just
Oh,
the slash.
you could do the slash. There we go. 2 times negative 5.5. Then, Ella, you take this and highlight it, Control C, Control V, and change this plus to a minus, and you get negative 4.5. So you can highlight it and change the plus to a minus because you have to get two answers. That's where the plus minus comes from. You do the exact same thing except for you take this and make it a minus instead of a plus. And that gives you negative 4.5. Now, guys, ultimately, we get Desmos. So you don't have to know this formula, but I need you to be able to recognize it in case somebody does something with it. Here's a way that it may happen that you're not going to like very much. Let's see. So all that inside there is 16. Do you guys see that? They could give you an answer like this. I don't know if it's going to happen, so don't freak out on me because I'm not sure. It could look like that as an answer also. But they're only going to do that, in all honesty, if this number right here isn't a perfect square. And this is a perfect square, which is why we can get answers. But I don't want it to be a super thing to freak out. So here's what I want to do. Do you guys want to do another one?
Yeah.
Or do you want to just practice?
I don't know.
One more ago. Rather low before. Heads up, shift ends in 23 days.
I'll do one that's a little messier.
I need an ocean paper. Oh, I can see the back.
Negative 2x squared minus 3x plus 7. Okay. So we have negative b. So we have a negative, and then for b, it's negative 3. Would you guys agree with that? And we have this pot plus or minus. All that means is you do plus one time around, copy, paste it, and do minus. The square root of negative 3 squared minus 4 times a, which is negative 2, times c, which is 7. Do you guys see how I did that?
How did you get 4? Negative 4. How did you get negative 4?
It's minus 4. It's part of the formula. It's minus 4a times c. Divided by 2 times a, which is negative 2. And you just type that all in your calculator. Again, I just want to make sure you're exposed to this. You don't need to stress out over quadratic because it's kind of always, you can always use Desmos, but it is good to just know what it looks like and to know that you use this when it can't be factored. It might be kind of a long decimal. That just means it's an irrational number. So I got negative 2.76 something, something, something.
Yep.
And then you copy and paste it and put a minus. And you get 1.2565. This is an instance where they would leave it as, I'll show you. Like their answer would be this. So I just want you to know it could look both ways. All they did was did all the math in here and just left that number in there.